Bayern 2, Grenzenlos hören. Studio 12, das Zündfunk-Interview. Zündfunk, das Szenemagazin. Werktags ab 19 Uhr.
Do you actually still feel the same kind of punk attitude? I mean, the Specials have done something to London and to the world in a way. And that era was like a special era. Does that still reflect in what you do these days?
Well, I think it does. I think it's how you live. Obviously, it's different from being 19 to now, how old I am, 52. It's a huge difference, and I want to see it in my kids more. I want to see them rebel, and they've done a great job at being rebels. I'm so proud of them.
What have they done? Tell us.
They both got kicked out of school at 14. That's fantastic. That's a brilliant start. And they made their own way. They're doing what they want to do.
So what is good about being kicked out of school?
I think it's an education. Yeah, I really do. I think it's the best education you can get. Not for everyone, but it's been interesting to see their path, which was very similar to my path, where you realise there maybe isn't a great future, but you've got to make one, really.
I think anarchy these days is different from in the 70s, because in the 70s, I think the situation was different. Do you think there is still anything to rebel? Because people are consuming so much shit these days. I'm sorry.
But it is a different thing, and you sort of, I don't know what we rebelled against. We rebelled against being jobless, and I can't say we rebelled against being working class because we didn't, but we felt like maybe we did, and it's different. Now, I agree there's very little to rebel against, and you can often do it online, which isn't rebellious, really.
You did something in the 70s and early 80s. You did get people to do something in these days.
But in a funny way, it was easier to do it then because there was very few options. Now, it's a question of, are you going to watch this band on YouTube or, international wrestling? But there were very few options then, and it was easier to make a bit of a splash, I think.
Your music is very English and at the same time very international. Like the Specials had ska elements and reggae elements, and you solo stuff. Like I've heard the stuff that you did with some Arabic musicians and stuff.
Yeah.
How did the idea for that come from?
Well, because it was a fallout really from, the huge fallout from 9/11 and talking to kids I knew, and again it was with Muslims getting tarred with the same brush, and we delved into my background, which is a Jewish background. Like, we're not meant to go on, but the similarities are just there.
Absolutely.
Families, it's just there. And we just started exploring Arabic music and traditional Jewish music and every sort of music, really. We made a record because that's what we do, really.
But that's in a way rebellious too.
Exactly, it was unbelievable, and the whole thing was so horribly media-led, and still is, and even down to all the conspiracy theories. It's fascinating on a world event. It's fascinating, but also, the fallout is like, it affects sort of lives as well, and
Have you got a new record out going on tour? Because I don't know. I haven't heard.
No, we're sort of playing our first two albums pretty much back to back, and this is what we're doing. This is our final tour. This is like our time to say, thank you very much, see you later, really, and so that's what we're doing.
Why?
Because I think we all want to get on and do other things. I want to get on and do other things, and being in a band takes up a lot of time, but I want to do other things too.
What do you want to do then?
Like not be in a band. That's the main thing I want to do.
So have you got like a favourite pastime or hobby? Do you want to do art or?
Well, I paint. I do stuff, and I'm passionate about certain things, but I'm also passionate about my family, and I like spending time with them too, and when you tour it just takes you away from them, and which I'm not keen on, really. I haven't had a drink for 10 years, so it's like, and I've never taken drugs, and it's like there aren't that many vices, really, and it sounds really weird, but it's just like the travelling's really tiring, and I'm the youngest in the band, and I'm 52, and it's like we get tired, but we just want one last big blast at, we're doing about 40 dates, and then we'll see what happens.
I mean, I see so many artists doing, especially English artists, doing painting, like you, Paul Simonon.
Yeah.
Is it like a trend?
No, with me it's a route I took after I was very ill, and it was a way of me communicating with people because I couldn't communicate. It was just a way of expressing how I felt, really, and a pretty basic, easy way to do it. I've carried on doing it since, really.
I mean, I didn't want to ask you about that, but I thought, when I heard about your illness and stuff, I thought, that it must be like really hard to kind of just believe in and hope that it will get better.
Well, that's what it is. It is belief, and it's like very lucky to have a supportive family and who put up with it, really, because it's a nightmare illness to put up with, and they were really fantastic. And I'm doing all right because I'm on brilliant medication, and it works. After 6 years, it finally works and does what it's meant to do. And it just helps me function. And even if I get up and do nothing, at least I'm functioning doing nothing. You know, I then have a choice, whereas before I didn't have a choice. So I'm happy.
It seems like the hopelessness is the worst thing, like the darkness.
It's just horrible. It's just really horrible. And it's so hard to explain that feeling because you don't realise what's going on. You know, I used to drift off for 3-4 weeks and not even notice. Now it's sort of a cyclical thing, and I get bouts of it, but it's all held at bay with medication. But I can feel the chemical reactions, but now it lasts a day rather than a month, so it's good. No, it's really good. It's really good. It's a mundane thing, but like just appreciating very real little things that become really, really important. You know, forget everything else. There are certain things that are really, really important, like family and friends and food and whatever, but very mundane, everyday things that you don't appreciate when you're in a mess, really.
Well, I mean, there's another thing that I thought when I heard that I could speak to you. If I want to call it the English ladies and gentlemen, or the extraordinary ladies and gentlemen that have changed popular culture over the last couple of years or the last decades, then you're definitely one of them, because you've painted modern England in music, in a way.
Yeah.
And how on earth did you hit on every bit of zeitgeist during the time it was on?
No idea. But it wasn't a choice thing. Being in that band at 18 wasn't a choice. It was something I had to do, and that's why we did what we did socially, more so than our records, and seeing people maybe have more acceptance and understanding, because it's brilliant. It's really, well, obviously black and white, but you get two black guys and a white guy on stage. That's what you're watching. You're watching some sort of racial harmony, whether it's written or not.
And that's something that, when you started, wasn't a normal thing. And
what you do is present what you present, and it was pretty obvious what we were about, really. It didn't take much thought. This is what we're about, and you're with us or you're against us, really.
Do you think London's changed over the years, for better or worse, in any way? Did you see it change?
I don't know. I mean, you see the gentrification, but I think you see that anywhere, everywhere. You know, I don't think it's changed too much now. This idea of a huge melting pot still doesn't exist the way you'd want it to, because it's very ghettoised, especially in London. It really is. But I think it comes through schools and stuff, and you know, if you're in a school with different nationalities and different races, then I think it's a good thing. Certainly, you know, when you do visit other places, like when you see how extreme it can get in places like Paris, and where that's really weird, and there is tolerance here. Yeah, it is really good, and it's only when you go outside and you go to America and places where you still see this weird stuff exists.
Well, thank you very, very much.
Zündfunk.